Hey, my lovely Serene Dream here with another Fill Me In general energy reading. And this reading could apply to anyone listening at any time because it is a timeless reading and it is a general reading. So it's not, it can resonate with you for the day, the week, the month, or even the rest of the year at any time that you find it. It is not sign specific. It can apply to anyone of any sign, but it's not going to resonate with everyone. So only take what resonates, leave what does not. Reverse the messages if that's how it fits your situation. And if you like to check out your monthly zodiac readings or your forecast, general forecast for the rest of the year, or at this time, if you're watching this, if 2023 forecast for love has not been posted already, then it's the link for the previous love forecast for the previous year, 2022, that's there. But you could also be watching this at a future date when the 2023 love forecast is posted. But you'll see down in the description box which one it is. So just any one of those you want to view, the Vimeo links are there in the description box for you. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, the link to that information is below as well. Follow me on Instagram at Serene Dream Things for daily guidance. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into your messages for this time. Okay, I'm getting that either Aries season is going to be very significant for some of you, or this could be you. I don't really like to pinpoint signs, but Aries is coming through very strongly. So either Aries season is significant to you, either you're in Aries or have Aries in your chart, or you're dealing with someone, or it's going to be someone very an Aries or someone with significant Aries energy that's going to be prominent in this story that I'm about to tune into. But yeah, I feel that it's almost something coming out blasting. I feel like it is. So if you're watching this at the time it's uploaded, I feel like it's mostly going to be about Aries season being significant to you. And I feel like if that is the case during that season, you're going to come out blasting. Like things are going to just take off. It's almost like what do you call it? Like when they have those little like races, like horse races and stuff, and or honestly, what I'm getting in my head, I know that might be triggering to some people, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, like when they have dog fights and they're like holding the dogs and the dogs are already vicious and a vicious energy and ready to tear each other apart, but like the handlers are holding the dogs back. I feel like that's almost the energy of like what's been going on up until Aries season. It's like your blessings are being held back, but they're like eager to get to you. They're eager to explode in your life. If you're watching this, a time after where Aries season has already passed, I feel like it's more so because you're an Aries, or you have Aries in your chart, or you're dealing with someone with significant Aries energy. And I'm getting that if that is the case, if you're watching this after, I have to come back to the original, but I just want to get this out the way for those of you who are watching this in the future. If you're an Aries, or if you're watching this after Aries season 2023, or you could be watching this before Aries season another year. But if you're watching this specifically in 2023 after Aries season is passed, either you have strong Aries energy in your chart, or someone who's going to be giving you an opportunity or a chance has significant Aries energy. So I just want to state that. Now, coming back to the original message I'm getting for those who are watching now before Aries season, or right as Aries season is starting. Aries season is going to be the time where your blessings just explode into your life. And it's going to feel very magical. It's like you're going to go from one level to the next suddenly. Everything that you've been waiting for, I feel like you've been prepared for this though. So I don't feel like this is coming so much as a surprise to you. I feel like these are either things you've already been working on. You've already got divine messages about this happening in your life at some point. And the whole time leading up to this, you've just been getting prepared for it. I just get that. But now that it's here, it's like you're not even blinking. You're not like you're happy, but it's almost like you're saying, okay, the work is not done. It's like now that it's here, you have a whole other load of responsibilities that come with these blessings that have now been ushered into your life. But for everybody else who's on the outside, they're going to feel like this just happened for you suddenly, and they're going to be really impressed. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, like it's like your status is just changing seemingly overnight to these people. You're looking different. You're doing something different. You're in a whole different, I'm hearing, tax bracket suddenly. And people don't know where the hell this came from or how the hell this happened. But you know that this has been in the works for you. Again, because either you've been planting the seeds for this to happen, or because God has already given you God has already let you know that this is about to happen for you. But yeah, it's no surprise to you. But now that it's here, it's like it's here now for everybody to see. It was already in you, it was already working, and you already felt it. So it's just like, it's not really confirmation to you as much as it's confirmation to other people of what God is capable of and also what you are capable of. Because I'm getting that many of you, a lot of people might have underestimated you. They probably talked down on you. They probably thought you weren't capable of certain things, that you couldn't make it, that I'm hearing like in some cases people thought you weren't shit. Like I just get that they didn't really think, they did people some people didn't really think much of you in some aspect, or maybe all around. But with this happening, it's like you're changing people's minds, and they have to respect you. Like it's like everyone is sitting up at attention, paying you attention, because they're like, wow, like I didn't even know that they were up to this. I didn't know they were capable of this. They're seeing you shine. And again, this is happening for a divine reason, because now it's time for everybody to know who you are. I feel like you've been in hiding for so long, and maybe that's why people underestimated you, because they weren't seeing you. Like, you weren't amongst what people would consider to be the movers and the shakers of this time. Like, there are people who are always on the scene, and they're doing things, and they're always like posting about it and letting everybody know their every move. So people just naturally gravitated to those people and felt like, oh, they're doing so much, they're so successful. And they would just applaud those people because those people would post for that type of validation. And I feel like for you, you've been just working behind the scenes, or like I said, God has just been working on this for you behind the scenes, and you've been quiet. So you've been in a way like kind of out of sight, out of mind. But now that you're like surfacing in this very big way, everybody is just like, where the fuck did they come from? It's just really like you're exploding on the scene, and all those people who are considered the movers and the shakers, they're even looking at you like, how the hell I'm hearing somebody say like, how did you surpass me? They're now looking at like, you haven't even been on the scene, because they know everybody who's been on the scene. They know everybody who's been out here, quote unquote, grinding. Like, at least they thought they did. So they're looking at you and trying to figure out like, how the hell did you do it? How did you surpass them without them even knowing that you were working or grinding in the first place? But I feel like you're really quiet about it. I feel like you're not saying much. I feel like a lot of people have questions, but you're not answering them. Or in some cases, people have questions, but they're not asking them, because it's almost like there's a very intimidating factor about you. Something about your energy just has this very strong don't fuck with me element to it. And for that reason, people might not be saying what's on their mind about you, because they're a little afraid, like they're a little intimidated by you. You I'm hearing that when you explode into this energy, you're going to bring about a lot of feelings of inferiority in other people. Like when they look at you and then they take a look at themselves, they're going to see like all their shortcomings. And maybe they thought they were doing okay beforehand, but once you exploded on the scene in this very big way, they're like rethinking everything that they thought about themselves. Like maybe they really thought they were the shit. Maybe these people really thought like, nobody was on their level, or they were like amongst the best or whatever. And then you came about and they're just like, well, damn, like, how do I compete with that? And the reality is they're not supposed to compete. That was the problem with these people's mind. Whoever is thinking like that, you're coming to wake them up to realize that it's like the reason this is happening for you is to help people realize that they're not meant to compete or compare themselves to with anybody. It's just they're meant to just be in their own lane and just be in that lane without needing applause every step along the way. Like all that, social media flexing and stuff like that that people do, or the others, the quote unquote movers and shakers were doing, you're coming along to show them that that's not necessary and that that's not a part of, like, a real divinely led person doesn't need to do that. And that when you're really blessed, you and ways move in silence. It's just this is happening for you in a very loud way, but again, it's to help wake people up, not only about you, but maybe even about themselves. Like I said, you're going to wake up a lot of inferiority complexes in people, but it's for a reason, because I feel like they've been avoiding a lot of self-work, a lot of self-reflection, I'm hearing. And by looking at you and all that you are right now, they're going to be looking at themselves and seeing like where they come up short, what they struggle with. And it's meant for that to happen, because it's time for these people to really do the work and not just pretend to be the shit. They need to actually become what they pretend to be. Because you have a bunch of people who are dressed up in fancy clothes, but they're really peasants. I feel like that's the energy that a lot of these people are embodying. And like you're the person that they probably looked down on and saw as the peasant, because they didn't see you out here doing everything and being all over everything and posting everywhere and all up in everybody's faces. And so I feel like they could have just put you in the box or the category of the quote unquote peasant compared to where they were, because they didn't see you out here. But now that you are where you are with all that you have and all of your glory, they're just like, so they weren't a peasant after all? Like, it is making them look at everything they have and all they've been doing. I feel like these people worked very hard to build this image that they have. And when they see you, it's like something is shaking them so much to the core that eventually they're going to come to the conclusion that none of that stuff that they built up, or that image they built about themselves, matter, because they're still broken. They're still dirty underneath, or they're still peasants underneath. They're just peasants in fancy clothes and fancy cars. It's like because they haven't done the work to clean themselves up, to elevate themselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And what they're going to see on you is that you're elevated in all those ways. And I feel like you are a shining example of what they should be, but what they haven't seen. So I feel like these people were modeling themselves after like false, other people with false images who weren't doing the work or doing the work properly. And then you come along and they're just like, this is the way it's supposed to be done. They may not say that initially. First, they're going to be jealous, possibly. First, they're going to be like, hating or whatever. But it's really going to make them take a look at themselves. And when they really sit with themselves and really start to reflect, they're going to start to see all their shortcomings and all the things that they've been avoiding, all the things they really need to work on, what really matters. Because I feel like all the shit they have been focused on doesn't really matter at all. And I feel that they're going to understand that. And then they're going to start to slowly come into the understanding of what they should be focused on, and then start to do the work and strip themselves of all these false things, and in a way start to model themselves after you. And I feel like that's what was meant to happen. That's why the divine is elevating you in such a way, because he's wanting to create more of you. And I feel like you were one of the, I'm not saying you're the only people, but you're one of the few people, or like the select few that actually followed his instruction all the way through. You didn't mind going through the quiet times. You didn't mind going through the dark. You didn't mind coming from humble beginnings. You didn't mind going through times where you were without. You didn't mind not having the attention. You didn't mind, the quiet. As I said, it's like you went through all of that. You were patient. You took your time. You waited for your time. And now that your time is here, you actually took every single step that God guided you to take. And he's able to use you. in such a great way, and you're being greatly rewarded for it. And like I said, you are, I'm hearing a model citizen. So yeah, it's like he's creating new citizens. He wants to create, the divine wants to create a group of new citizens. And I feel like he's starting with the select few who actually paid attention and followed instruction, who were obedient and patient. And the others are pretty much going to have to fall in line by following the example of these new select few citizens that he's been able to mold and create and elevate over time. And so these people are going to be the new role models. You all who I'm speaking to, you're going to be the new role models. You're going to be the people at the forefront. You're going to be the one that everybody is trying to be like, and the new, I guess, trendy thing, the new shiny toy, or the new person on the scene, the new it person. But I feel like who you are, everything you represent is just completely different than what we've been seeing at the top. And so it's going to wake people up to really understand what life is about, what they're meant to do. I'm hearing who they're meant to serve, because I feel like some of these people have not even been serving the right God. Like they've been serving like other things that weren't divine, that weren't the Almighty. And you've been doing that. And I feel like the car alarm going off, I feel like that's indicative of like everything is happening. I'm hearing imminently. This is all coming very soon for you. Like I said, your rise is going to be not only meteoric, but it's going to be sudden. It's not going to be, it's going to be like one night, you're just, your normal, humble, quiet self. And the next day you just explode. And like I said, it's not because you haven't been doing work or working on things or whatever. Like you always knew this was coming, but it's just you didn't know the exact hour that it was coming. And now that it's here, you're ready, you're prepared, and you're handling it in a way that God is very proud of. Like God is very proud of you. I just want to say that. But yeah, you're creating a new model citizens, like a new army of citizens. It's like a new army that God has been trying to create. And I feel like, again, you all who I'm speaking to, you're at the head of that army because you were the select few who actually paid attention and did it right. And these other people, they were just trying to follow whatever was trendy, whatever was hot, whatever was the in thing at the moment. But now that you're the in thing, they're trying to be like you. And this is why God used you, because he knew these people don't pay attention to anything that isn't quote unquote hot. So he made you hot. He's about to make you hot. And now everybody's going to be like you. Or not of everybody. It's like a lot of people are going to try to lead, like follow your example. And so he's going to have a whole new model, a whole new army of new type of citizens that are divinely protected, divinely inspired, divinely led. And this is all leading up to something that is, I'm getting like you who I'm speaking to, all who resonate with this, you're going to be like a molder of minds. Not only are you bursting on the scene as like this example who's just, quiet, I feel like you're also going to be teaching. So I feel like you're going to be like, you are prepared not only physically, but you're prepared like mentally and verbally as well, and emotionally to handle this. So as you're rising and as you step into these roles of leadership in society, you're going to be able to back up what you appear to be with your words, which in turn is going to inspire others and teach others on how to get there, on how to grow into that energy, how to be more like God. I won't even say like you, because you're like, you have allowed yourself to be molded to be more like God. Not saying you're perfect, but I feel like the way, like your rise or your journey to this point has been very very much what God desires from his children. And so yeah, you're going to be somewhat of the mouthpiece to help other people become more like that. So again, you're going to be molding minds through this, through who you are and this journey that you've been on. You're going to have a whole lot to say, actually. So you could be doing interviews. I feel like I picked that up in a reading prior to this about someone doing a podcast interview that goes viral. I feel like you've been building up, you've been kind of like collecting all this wisdom, and now it's time to share it. That's what I get. So yeah, it's like now it's time for you to speak. You've probably been quiet up until this point, just quietly collecting wisdom, learning, and now you've gotten to the point that all those words you've been building up, now it's time to bring it out. Now it's time for people to hear it. And I feel like everything you're about to say is going to be divinely inspired. Like God is going to be your words. God is going to be in your words. And you've allowed yourself to be used in this way so it doesn't feel foreign to you. You're not going to struggle with what to say at any given time. You know, even if you have people who come along and try to challenge you, God is going to speak through you to shut those people down, those naysayers and those doubters. And I feel like you never have to worry. You're not going to be afraid of any platform because you know who you're serving, you know who's working through you. And like I said, you've been practicing all this time that you've been in quote unquote hiding. God has been using you in this way, in small ways. And so you're used to him moving through you in this way. So you don't have any, and there's no intimidation factor with you. You know who you are. You know who you're serving. You know who's working through you. You know how he's using you. And you're just allowing that to be. You don't have any pushback with this divine energy. Yeah, I feel like you're even going to be influencing the younger generation, like the smaller children, like they're even going to be looking up to you. Yeah, I'm hearing somebody say, "Mommy, I want to be like that. I want to be like them." So it's like all this degenerate behavior that we've been seeing lately in society, like you're going to be another example that kids could turn to and say like, "I want to be like them," instead of being like the degenerate people or behaviors that we've been seeing lately. You're something new and fresh on the scene that is right versus something new and fresh that's wrong that we've been seeing a lot of lately. So a lot of you are going to have a platform, whether big or small. I just get that who I'm speaking to, you're not going to be somebody that's just like small potatoes. Like you're going to be some kind of big time. Like I said, either through you become an internet sensation, or I'm hearing like a superstar, movie star, singing sensation, whatever, big screen sensation, all sorts of things. Motivational speaker that becomes like, goes viral with every clip, they post. It's just because there's so many of you, I feel like you're going to be moved in all sorts of positions. Each of you are going to have like hold down a fort. And it's almost like that you're all operating under the same energy with the same goal, but you're just placed in different places. And I feel like you're all going to be one voice, if that makes sense, because you're all being divinely led. And this energy is going to be something new for people to aspire to, for people to want to be like, for people to want to emulate, for people to want to join, follow, from young to old, big to small. I feel like it's going to touch so many generations, so many cultures, races. I feel like it doesn't matter. Like this energy is so potent that it can't help but grab everyone's attention, whether they want to or not. Whether they want to pay attention or not, they're going to. Yeah, I feel like even people who are like way older than you are going to be inspired by you. They're going to be like looking up to you. Like people who are like twice your age. They're going to be hanging on to your every word, and this is what you're meant to do. And Taurus is coming in very strongly here. So some of you could be a Taurus, or for some of you, or you could have that feature strongly in your chart. Or you know what I'm getting actually? Some of you could be in Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is part of it is associated with the arts. So that could very much be a clue into what some of you are going to be doing, or the way you're going to be utilizing this new energy, your new voice in the arts. Yeah, whatever it is you're doing, I feel like you're going to be moving people deeply across all generations, all races, all cultures. And like I said, they're going to be hanging on to your every word, because I feel like you have a lot to say, and therefore you're going to be having a lot to share. I just get like somebody who's going to be doing a ton of interviews and just getting a lot of attention from those interviews. People are going to be, once you do one, I feel like other people are going to be like blowing up your line, trying to get you on uh, their whatever, their show, whatever kind of platform to interview you, because it's like they want that juice. They want, it's like they want to be able to, they want to experience you for themselves, first of all, and then they want some of that juice that you have to rub off on them from having you on their platform. Yeah, and I feel like this is, you're going to be at the height of your life all this year. I don't feel like this steam is going to like take off, like pick up and fall flat within a few weeks or a few months. I feel like for the rest of the year you're going to be on fire. And I feel like it's not going to end this year either. It's like this is only the beginning, but like your steam is picking up. It's going to explode all of a sudden this year, and just that steam is going to continue for a long time. But this year especially, you're going to be incredibly busy. For those of you who resonate with this, you're not going to have much time to kind of just sit down and just be like you used to. You're going to be like getting calls and requests for interviews, like working everywhere, traveling, just you're going to be in demand. That's what I get. And I'm pretty much going to name the reading that, because once you explode on the scene, that is what's going to happen. You're going to be in demand. Either because people are requesting your presence, or because people are following your presence. People are going to want to know what you're doing. They're going to know what you think about everything. Like, and that's the way it was always meant to be, because like I said, God is creating like this new army of like model citizens that's divinely led and inspired by him, and he's wanting to use you all to inspire others to join this army. So that's what's happening. Okay, so that's about all I have for you all for this reading. A very interesting reading. The readings lately, the general energy readings, have been extremely interesting. I love this energy. But yeah, again, if you'd like to check out your monthly zodiac readings, or your general forecast for the rest of the year, or your love forecast for the rest of the year, you can click on the Vimeo links below to view those. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, links to that information can be found below as well. Follow me on Instagram at Serene Dream Things for daily guidance. And I'll be back on my readings, lovelies. Bye.